They've been stumping on the sidelines for months, but tonight they are in the spotlight. The VP candidates in their first and only face-off to show the American people how they measure up against their rival. So what do the voters need to hear? Here to weigh in, Democratic strategist Chuck Rocha and managing editor of the Washington Free Beacon, Aaron McLean. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Aaron, I'm going to start with you this time. 90 minutes, no commercial breaks, just like the presidential debate. 84 million people tuned in for that debate. How many people do you think will tune in this time around, and what do they want to hear?
Substantially less than the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. I couldn't give you an exact number. What do they want to hear? I mean, I think a lot of folks, independents in particular, are looking to find a candidate that they can like. The fact is that the top of the tickets on both sides are historically unpopular. Mike Pence and Senator Cain are both products of their party's establishment. They are relatively untainted by scandal and controversy compared to their frontrunners. So that's, I think, something that people are looking for and something that they should be focusing on, even as they also work to attack the top of the ticket on the other side. So it's a difficult course that they have to chart tonight.
It is. Speaking of horses and tracking a chart, you're all set, Chuck, with your cowboy hat. You're ready to go. Tim Kaine, from what we understand, will get the first question this evening. How do they walk that fine line that Aaron was talking about?
Well, Tim Kaine is from this state. We're in Farmville, Virginia, but Virginia's a lot like a lot of other battleground states. You have places like around D.C. and Northern Virginia where there's lots more Democrats who make up almost as much as out here in the rural areas in Farmville, and whoever can get their vote out, that's why it's 50-50, and so they're going to be straddling the line to try not to, A, not mess up in any way, but try to get across their points because they're the stalwarts of their party, and I would tell the American people, pay attention because this ticket tonight, you're going to see them again because either in 4 or 8 years they will be probably running for president.
And one of the problems that both of these candidates have had is pulling over millennial voters. Aaron, what can either one of these VP candidates do in order for their candidate to win over a little bit more of that demographic?
Well, for obvious reasons, millennials are very focused on the economy and on the job situation. In this respect, I mean, I think the advantage falls to Mike Pence, if only because he's the standard bearer for the populist who's still running, and Donald Trump. Mike Pence is traditionally more of a conservative, small government, social conservative, religious backing kind of a guy. But he's with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump carries that energy that on the left was carried by Bernie Sanders. But Sanders has gone, Trump has left. So when Pence talks about trade, when he talks about immigration and the immigration effect on the economy, I think he's got the wind behind his back, and I think Cain is going to be on difficult terrain.
And Chuck, also independent voters, a big question mark this election season. What do they need to hear tonight to sway their support one way or the other? Chuck?
Well, independent voters historically have cared very much about like national security, also about the trade issue. But I also throw in this education. Most of these middle-class suburban voters have children that they plan on going to college, and college is becoming so unaffordable for an American family. And then if you've graduated college, back to your millennial question, you have this huge debt bubble. And that's why you saw Bernie do so good with that crew, because people are trying to figure out a way they can't afford to go to college. So if you play by the rules and you do the right thing and you go to school, you shouldn't be in debt the rest of your life.
But you can't just say free college for everybody and not explain how you're going to pay for it.
I would absolutely agree with that, but there's got to be some resolution because we can't continue to make college affordable just for some of us. There could be a reasonable explanation for how we get to that point. It may not be college for everybody, but there has to be a plan to help out these young people. All
right, Aaron and Chuck, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see what happens tonight, 9 p.m.
All right.
Eastern. All right.